I can't remember anything. Who am I?
Your name is Durin, and there are many who still remember it.
My name is Durin.
You're taking too long. Come on, Durin, run! In this world, fate waits for no one.
Wait! Where am I meant to go? What am I supposed to do?
Go, make your wish come true, Durin.
My wish?
Your story's not over yet!
Silence, huh? Have you nothing to say about my proposal?
Let me get this straight. You want to graft your story onto this unfinished thread of fate, and in doing so, not only rewrite that fate, but allow the story to live on.
Quite the brilliant idea. Still, the story's survival depends entirely on whether the author keeps writing.
Exactly. And the moment foretold by the prophecy is still centuries away.
I see. I thought my own ignorance might be the problem. That I'd asked more of the noble science of alchemy than it could ever deliver. Or that I had failed to discern the heavenly signs and grasp the secret truth underlying the prophecy. Little did I imagine that time itself would prove to be the greatest hurdle of all.
Well, my friend, this has been a most intriguing experiment. And from an academic perspective, at least, I don't think it was a bad proposal.
Someday, the prophecy will come to pass. So remember, my friend, much like the stars themselves, there will always be something that transcends the test of time.
Thank you, everyone. You've helped me so much already. But, Alice, I still have one final favor to ask of you. Will you lend me your magic one last time, just enough for me to keep his story alive until the prophecy is fulfilled?
You mean you want me to extend your lifespan?
No, not in that sense. As Rheindotter once told me, the laws governing life and death are among the most unyielding in this world. I'm well aware of that. Whether it lasts a day or an age, the span of one's life is determined by fate alone. If I tried to breach that law by force, I'm afraid I would lose what makes me human. This is not a path I want to go down. If I am to die, then I shall die a human.
So what is it that you want me to do?
I would like you to send this pen of mine into the future.
I see. Then perhaps there really is a way I can help. I could create a kind of story magic to take over the writing once you're gone. Oh, but for it to work, you would need to provide enough of your own words for it to learn from.
How much?
Oh, an immense amount. So much, in fact, that you would have to spend the rest of your life writing. And even then, I'm sorry to say, it would not last forever. No matter how much you write, there is a limit to the number of words you can leave behind. But the world itself will never stop changing. Sometimes day, perhaps even your entire corpus will not be enough for the magic to continue describing this world. And when that happens, the story will end.
Still, it's worth a try.
Oh, my dear Anya. Even after all this time, you're still... Look at you. You should be enjoying your old age in peace and quiet, especially now that things are finally returning to normal after that terrible calamity.
Once he leaves Simulanka, things will only get more complicated. If his story is to continue, there needs to be more material for the magic to draw upon. I'll just have to skip over some of the less important details.
Anya, why do you insist on sending him out of the storybook world? Why must he face his fate into that? Why not just let him remain within the story? With my magic, even fate's curse could be undone and he could live happily ever after.
I suppose. In fairy tales, all it takes is a heartfelt wish. And even a wooden puppet can turn himself into a real boy and live happily ever after. That's just how fairy tales end, isn't it? But have you ever wondered what happens to the main character after the ever after? Tell me, Alice, in your eyes, what would be a writer's greatest regret?
To leave a story without an ending.
Not a bad answer. It's true, many writers come to consider that their greatest regret. But I see things differently. My greatest regret is that every story I write has to come to an end in the first place.
Anya.
No matter how brilliantly a character shines, the moment their story ends, their potential is lost forever. For them, the story itself becomes an inescapable fate. But what if, instead, I could place my pen in their hand and let them continue the story themselves?
You mean...
You said it yourself. I can only leave so many words behind. Even with your magic, the idea that I could keep the story going until the prophecy comes to pass is wishful thinking at best. But I've found a way to use your magic to transform some of my finished stories into a special kind of ink. This ink is a magical medium he can use to complete the story the way he wants to. For what is storytelling but another kind of magic? And if he can experience the whole tale himself while leaving behind his own wishes and aspirations, even once he reaches the chapter where I stopped, he'll still be able to carry the story forward on his own. And so, by leaving him this ink, I can entrust him with the responsibility of writing his own story.
A character with the power to write their own story.
That way, he'll finally be free from the cage that is my pen. And like anyone else living in the real world, he can go on to create a life of his own.
And you no longer need to worry about the constraints of my magic. What a brilliant idea, Anya. But there are still risks. First of all, once he arrives in Teyvat, he'll have to rely entirely on the story you left him to maintain his connection to that world. As you gradually hand over creative control, that connection will grow weaker, and at some point, he might lose it altogether.
But at the same time, he'll also have the chance to forge that connection for himself.
The issue is, this method taps into too many of Teyvat's core secrets. Any overt hints you try to leave will be erased in no time. In fact, it'd be hard for you to leave anything at all to guide them.
We still have the story itself, though. I can use that to show them the way.
It's entirely possible he burns through all your ink, never reaches the chapter you had in mind, and gets stuck, roaming the chapters of his past. But despite all that,
I still believe in what this child can become. His hopes and wishes can be his ink, so he won't be trapped by mine running dry.
Oh, what the writer you are, Anya. Your imagination never ceases to amaze. And you do know how much I love a happy ending. You shall have my help, my dear.
Thank you, my friend. Well then, my child. Do you understand what you must do?
Yes, I think I do. It's my turn to keep this story alive.
Then what's holding you back?
What will become of you after I take up this pen?
I will fade away. There will no longer be a reason for me to go on existing. My child, or your mother, I should say, passed away long ago. The voice you're hearing is nothing but a magical echo that has now fulfilled its purpose. You needn't feel so reluctant to let me go.
I know my mother died long ago. It's just, when you lose your mom too soon, it's hard to tear yourself away from the stories she used to read. I guess it's a silly way of pretending she's still here, by your side.
Durin.
But after coming to this world and traveling it with my friends, facing all kinds of enemies together, I suddenly realized I couldn't just sit around listening to my mother's stories because I'd found a new purpose in life. Maybe this is just what growing up feels like. With all my new friends waiting, it's time I finally set aside my mother's storybook.